Hello, welcome to RNG at the Crossroad. My name is G.A. Cross.
And I'm Roosevelt. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining our program and welcome to the broadcast. Today, we come up with a topic that we are going to begin discussing, and this topic is called self-sabotage. Now, one of the reasons we came up with this topic, I was just thinking, because you never hear too much, Gerald, when people live their lives and are living their life with purpose, you know, there's a process. You know, you make your plan and you follow your plan. A lot of times what people don't, and we know we all go through things, you're going to hit a wall, there's going to be stumbling blocks, there's going to be crossroads, there's going to be detours. No one ever talks about it. Everybody's heard the word sabotage. And sabotage, you know, when it comes to self-sabotage, we all heard the word sabotage, but when you incorporate that word with self-sabotage, you don't hear too many people talk about that. Now, for me, I'm gonna tell you why. For me, because that sounds like I done murdered myself, I done killed myself. You know, we know that some of the things that happen in self-sabotage are some of the topics that we've already had: fear, being around the wrong people, procrastination. And people, if you have a plan and you go and you're making progress, or you're attempting to make progress, and it doesn't manifest the way you would like, for the most part, when you're honest with yourself, you can sit back, well, yeah, I procrastinated in this area. You know, I had fear in that area. But no one will ever say, I committed self-sabotage. You know?
They don't want to accept that
direct
responsibility.
That's a heavy thing, man. You know, sabotage. I mean, because nobody wants to, you know, because what sabotage is deliberate destruction of a thing. And of course, there are areas of sabotage. It could be stuff, property. You know, you can attach it to stuff. You can attach it to things, but nobody wants to attach it to themselves.
Right. And a lot of times they don't, and that's because they don't really realize that right there is the beginning of growth. Because if you want to have more, you have to become more. Mm-hmm. It all starts from within. Because if you're not rebuilding and you're not redefining who you are as a person and becoming the person that you need to be from the inside out, it's never going to happen. Because as long as you're going to hold other people responsible for whether it's your happiness or your success, you're never ever going to be successful, because you haven't taken accountability for your own success. You know, and that's the only way it's going to happen. You have to be accountable for yourself, you know. Right. You know,
right.
Passing that on to somebody else, right? Pass it on to somebody or something is just totally useless. It's not going to help you or benefit you in anything what you're doing.
I think, you know, from a conscious perspective, I think if people can get to a place, like I said, for me, saying, you know, self-sabotage, man, I just killed myself. That's a tough place to be. But see, this is for me today. If I'm not progressing on purpose, I'm killing myself. So I'm going to be able to start saying, man, I didn't sabotage that. As opposed to just subconsciously, okay, yeah, I missed this time. Yeah, I missed that time. But that's the commonplace. You know, we all, because everybody's here for a reason. Everybody is on this earth for a reason. And most of us have a desire that our Creator has put in us to do something that benefits ourselves, our family, and humanity.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Some people might be here just to be stumped on the law. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
And some people
possible.
are, and some people are comfortable with doing that. And
Right.
I think that a lot of times that it's a real difficult time to take a hard look at ourselves. And a lot of times that I think self-sabotage comes in, and I think it has a lot to do with something we discussed before. And it has a lot to do with just being afraid to fail, man.
Right.
You know, it always, a lot of times it reverts back to
fear.
that fear factor. And self-sabotage to me is anything or any person that you allow to get in the way of you reaching your goals, period.
Mhm.
Anything that you put in there, whether it's a person that you're using as an excuse or a situation that you're using as an excuse, at the end of the day, if you're not producing those results or you're not reaching that goal, then hey, it's just talk. Because you got to look at it. There's people in the game that have either more problems than you probably, but then they find their way to reach some type of way to reach a point of success. So we had to always realize that, hey, we're all entertaining something.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
you know, and a lot of times we're entertaining something, we have to find our way through it. And a lot of times I think it has to do with just, you have to set those goals and see a direct path to victory. And like you were saying before, I remember you mentioned this before, and don't think that it's not going to come without, you know, some setbacks, some failures along the way.
Right.
But hey, failure is never ever final unless you stop. So a lot of times you have to realize that, and that'll help you to stay focused.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is, I mean, while we're having, I've been so eager to get to this topic for a lot of reasons. And so I'm just going to speak for my own personal reasons how I'm looking at this topic as in conjunction with, like, okay, it's easy for me to have a set of goals, right? And start working on goals. And if there's a slip up here, a slip up there, I'm okay with, okay, chalk that up to the game. Chalk that up to these things are going to happen while you're trying to get somewhere. See, now for me today, what I'm going to start using, man, I just didn't kill myself. I sabotage was, again, let me get that definition of sabotage. Once again, it is deliberate destruction of or damage to a property, thing, place, or so forth. So when we self-sabotage, we are deliberately sacrificing, or we're deliberately killing. We're deliberately killing our dream.
Yeah. And a lot of times we have to understand that, and that come to a point of realization that you do have people, whether it could be family, friends, so on and so forth, that are really dream killers, bro. And you have to realize that you never, ever allow anybody to define you.
Absolutely.
And never, ever live within the consciousness of somebody else. Don't let nobody define you. Don't let nobody tell you. If you're working on something, the least amount of people you tell, probably the better, because that's the least amount of people that can tell you why you can't do it. So that right there, you can self-sabotage yourself by putting out your plans to people that don't really have your interest in succeeding. Now, they may love you, but they may not share that same interest of you being successful. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference, because sometimes people are comfortable with you being on their level. You see what I'm saying? As long as you stay down with them, then they're comfortable.
Right.
So you can self-sabotage by accepting other people's
Opinions.
perception of you. Yeah, you self-sabotaging by accepting somebody else's perception of what's possible for you.
Mhm.
So you have to be careful with that as well.
Yeah. And you know, like the heavy duty part for me is the consciousness of the dreams. Now we're speaking to an audience that we're hoping are dreamers. We're speaking to an audience, which is our intent, our goal anyway, to take a journey with us, you know, to change our lives, to change our community, to reevaluate how we live each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, when you see, because as I explained earlier, it's easy for us to have goals and dreams and have a plan. Because most of us, we don't know, we weren't born with that. We didn't grow up seeing that, but there's that thing in us. And as you grow and you get your experiences in life and get older, then you start following different suggestions that you've learned from reading books, from listening to other people, from speeches, conventions, or whatever. You know, there has to come a point in time where, I mean, because we've all been failures.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been failures, and even through for some of us, and I know I was there at a point in time, when the failures became more consistent, it became easier to make excuses.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of times that's the first thing that we'll do. And you notice I said we, because that's, you know, it's, you know, I don't think any of us can really all the way hide from it, you know,
Right.
because a lot of times it's second nature for if you haven't succeeded in doing what you're doing, a lot of times you kind of have them excuses right there on your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? A lot more accessible than the actual solution to the problem that you're experiencing. And in this life, you'll hear me say this a lot, and I'll revert back to this. It is all about the experience. How are you experiencing this life? Is this, you know, you have to ask yourself those real questions, because if you're doing what you feel like this is your purpose, if you actually engage that purpose, are you actually participating in that purpose? Are you, you know, have you reconciled with that purpose? If you have done that and have taken action, then I think you really have rebirthed something or energized something within yourself, and it gives your life a sense of meaning. Anything that you allow to get in the way of that, then I think you self-sabotaging yourself, because a lot of times we can self-sabotage ourselves just by not getting our priorities straight. Now, I think, Ro, you were talking about this in another conversation about, hey, man, if you're spending too much time out there in the partying and doing this and that, it's okay with leisure, but everything's got to have a balance. That's why you got the yin and the yang. You got to have a balance in your life. If you're spending too much time partying and you ain't spending enough time grinding or really doing something that's going to actually give you some type of benefit or has something to do with this, could relate to your purpose, or you becoming a better person, better family member, all these different things that allow you to be better. How are you regarded in your community? Like, it's a big thing that you have, Roosevelt, there. You know, how are you being regarded there? And it reverts back to not only your experience, and now it's extended to how do people experience you? How do they experience you when they encounter you? You see what I'm saying? So are you a person that's worth talking to? You got what I mean?
Right,
you know,
right.
You know,
right.
Or people gonna want to actively engage with what you have to say?
Right.
So, you know, and it reverts back to those things. And the whole purpose of our platform is we're at the crossroad, making those decisions that allow us to have better outcomes.
Yeah. And of course, as you were saying, Like with your days, your moments, your dreams, your goals, how you spend your time. Or you just a wandering generality with your time. What do I mean by that? A wandering generality is you're hopeful that just because you wake up every day, you eat right, you exercise, you take care of yourself, that the golden egg falls into your lap. Or you just a wandering generality with hope. Or you're going to be that person that is going to take control of your life honestly and critically, and do the best that you can with line up with other people, with people that are of like mindset, and create an outcome to where you can leave this life and a legacy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that right there, like on this particular topic, the only way you can do that, and a lot of times, man, I think this is really a good topic because a lot of times we do discuss a lot of things that are external to us that prohibit us from being successful, but it's a lot of things that, you know, that we do ourselves that prevent us from getting to where we need to go. And having a healthy state of mind, not doing things that is going to cause us, like you was talking about, as far as causing us to be unhealthy, you know, because if we're overweight, you know, if we're eating too much or if we're not trying to get enough nutrition in, things like that, anything. Now, I'm not trying to pick on anybody because we all have our vices, but anything that we're doing is causing us, I'll just revert back to this. Anything that we're doing that is not allowing us to feel well, we're probably not going to do well. Yeah. So we have to revert back to that. What are we doing that's going to allow us to feel well? And that reverts back to what we were talking about before, that experience. Because if you're feeling well, that right there is a direct connect to how you're experiencing your day-to-day life. How are you feeling? Because if you don't feel well, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to be doing well.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because what you got on the inside, it's going to overflow to the outside of you.
Right.
And that's going to reflect how people experience you because of what you're experiencing. So those kinds of things, you can self-sabotage yourself by not treating yourself well. And man, I love to talk about Les, man, but Les was talking about nobody can take care of you better than you. I used to love it when he would say that. Nobody can take care of you better than you. And I would love to hear Les Brown would say that because it hits home. Because if you're waiting around for somebody to treat you well and to treat you a certain way, you're gonna wait a long time. Nobody can treat you better.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be waiting a long time. They may try, but sometimes you got to take times out to take care of yourself so that you're feeling well. And you can self-sabotage yourself a lot by not doing that very thing, because it's
it's very easy.
Yeah,
it's very easy to self-sabotage because first of all, we don't even recognize it as what it is.
Yeah, right. Because if you're experiencing it, sometimes you may not recognize that you self-sabotage. Right. I agree.
So you know, once we can see that joker and call it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, I'm gonna start saying, you know, when I have my moments of, you know, I'm like, man, I missed the mark. I didn't kill myself.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
I didn't kill myself, you know?
Yeah, but
that's how it's gonna be for me, as opposed to just okay, all right, let's start over again. Because see, when I kill myself, it's not my intention. So I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
That's what self-sabotage means to me. I done killed myself right there.
Yeah, because you pretty much done. You're right, because you don't put a stumbling block in front of yourself.
Yeah.
And you basically are just taking a life out of your purpose.
Right.
So yeah, it is, man. It's pretty deep that way, and it can be serious that way because you kind of pulling the plug on your own purpose and not allowing any energy to go to that, and not allowing your purpose to manifest itself in front of you.
Yeah.
And A lot of times we have to have a relationship with your purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like the way you said that.
Yeah, you have to have a relationship with that purpose, man. And I think a lot of times too, I think the people that we have around us, they respect you more if you have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, they're going to experience you better because you've engaged your purpose. You see what I'm saying? You're going to feel like you've gotten some traction or that you've gotten something done. So the main things I really think has a lot to do with just self-sabotage can come from just being afraid to fail. I think it comes from us not prioritizing things in our life, putting things that are priority, like our family, our purpose, our health. You know, like I said, hey man, if you ain't got your health, you got basically nothing. So you got to keep an eye on that. You know, all these different things. So just remember, anything that is prohibiting you from being able to reach your goals, or anything that you're doing deliberately and not being aware of it, those things that are getting in the way of you reaching your goals, that is self-sabotage. So we don't want to make it so complicated, but take a step back, try to identify anything that you're allowing to prohibit you from reaching your goals or not allowing you to have a relationship with your purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we want to leave you with that. And please feel free to leave any comments. And also, you know, at RNG and the Crossroad, I remember our platform is about being at the crossroad, making better decisions, having better outcomes. How you feel about that, bro?
Man, absolutely, man. Look, bro, you hit the nail on the head. I think that we came up with a lot of good, valid points when it comes to self-sabotage. Look out for us. You know, we're in the process of developing the website. We'll be, you know, doing our programming and whatnot. So, you know, we just like for you guys to come join us on a journey, you know, a growing community of like-minded people that are afraid to make decisions for the betterment of their lives and for their community. We understand our decisions and choices don't turn out the way that we like or wish them to, but nonetheless, there is a lesson to be learned in all decisions and choices.
Absolutely.
Today, decisions will be made either willingly or not. So what is now and what's next? The choice is yours. So don't get stuck in the crossroad of your life doing nothing. Thank you guys for joining us for this broadcast. We look forward to many more of these opportunities to share with you guys and also to get your feedback.
Absolutely. So look out for us. We're working on our Facebook page and Instagram. And always remember, on this platform, we're always looking to identify. We all have to make that choice. We got to decide whether or not we want to remain the same, we're going to regress, or we're going to grow. On here, our objective is to identify techniques and things that are going to bring us those better outcomes. So we're looking forward to continuing this journey with you. And please continue to tune into our show. Absolutely. Thank you so much and have a good day. R and G at the Crossroad. Thank you. Peace. Take care.